Thomas here with Much Props, going to give you another how-to video. Today I am making a painting. Not typically something I do here on the channel a lot because it doesn't get a lot of views, and I'm assuming that that's not what people come to me to see. So I am going to incorporate a little bit of foam work into this painting idea and make a custom frame using scrap materials for the frame, or at least parts of it, and then actually using foam for part of the painting. The theme for this project, I was trying to think of ideas of things I could do, and I wanted to keep it lighthearted and not too deep, so I went with painting a meme as my theme, and then that kind of turned into a what else could I add to it, and I wanted to get some input from the community. So I posted a couple of days ago, asking you to finish the quote, "Life is," ... And the responses came in pretty quickly, which was nice. So I started building and painting and knocked it out pretty quickly to prepare for something else that I am working on. So without further ado, today we are going to paint a painting, build a frame, make a meme, something. Let's get to building. Let's start this build off by making the foam frame. Here is my canvas that I'm going to use for this build. It's a cheap 16 by 20 that you can pick up at most craft stores. You could definitely use all foam for this build if you wanted to, but I thought the canvas wooden frame would give a nice structure to build off of. So I start pulling out random bits of foam from my scrap bin and find some 10mm and 6mm foam that I'll use for the base of this decorative frame. I cut them into about 2-inch strips wide and set them aside. Instead of facts for this build, I thought it would be fun to have like famous quotes from much smarter people than me, give you some views on life, so here you go. My thin 6mm foam will go on the sides, which is cut to the thickness of the canvas. To cut everything to a more precise size, I hold it up to the edge that it's going to attach to and cut it to fit. Once done, I add some contact cement to the necessary edges, give it a few minutes to dry, and tack them together around the frame, but not to it. After the base was done, I cut a small strip to cover the seam on the inside and further secure them into place. Now I am taking some EVA half dowels in both 10mm and 15mm to act as decorations on my frame. I'm keeping mine very simple, but you could engrave the foam, carve wood grain into it, glue on some flourishes from your favorite molds, or whatever. I went simple with mine as I am really crunched for time working on an upcoming build that should be pretty epic. I'm wrapping up a cosplay. With my frame done, I now need to decide the size of the artwork I will make. Using a strip of foam as a spacer, I mark about a 1/2 inch line inside of the frame, measure that shape, and then cut it out of some 4mm EVA foam. This will act as the hedges for my meme of choice, which is Homer backing into the hedges after talking to Ned. This has to be one of the most iconic memes out there and makes me giggle every time I see it. It's an episode that's kind of dark even for The Simpsons standards, but I always thought it was hilarious. After I got this part done, I sent out a message on all my socials for input on what people thought life is. I wanted to add just a little more dimension to my bushes, so I cut out some small little lumps that I'm going to super glue around the edges. I could have painted them on at the end, but decided that it would add a nice addition to make them stand out just a little more. My bottom layer will consist of a painting of Homer. I thought about carving out Homer in foam, which would have been doable, but took more time that I didn't have. So I quickly sketched him out, getting close to the proportions and painting him with some Posca paint pens. Due to the camera being where my head should be, my view's a little skewed, so he is a little bit longer than he should be, but it's close enough. Once I have him painted, I put my own little style choice and mix in some lines to go over my base layers. I also color the perimeter and any area where the frame or the foam bush won't cover. The foam gets 2 layers of Plasti-Dip followed by green spray paint for the bushes and a mix of several metallic spray paints for the frame. With all my parts painted, I am ready to glue the foam into place. I'm using some super glue for a quick grab for the 2 materials, really paying attention to get it close to the edges so that I won't have any gaps and it'll fit snug to each other. Once I have the top of the frame glued on, then I squirt in some glue on the sides and push it together. Then I do my best to line up my bush so that it'll cover all the blank areas, trying to make the gaps on the sides as even as I could. You can lay down foam or something to act as a spacer, but I just kind of plopped it on there. After about a day or two, I went back to my social media posts and read all the awesome responses. I tried to write as many of them as I could without overlapping. I wrote in different colors with different types of pens, in different fonts, and in different angles. Most of the submissions were really positive and uplifting, which is what I was hoping for. It has been a rough 12 months or so, and I really wanted to make something that was kind of inspirational and could act as like a reminder on how precious life is. Life is enjoying what you do, being grateful for what you have, sharing with the people you love, helping others, and being creative. Life can be like a box of chocolates, a dance you learn as you go, a highway you want to ride all night long, or a number of other memorable quotes. Life will not be easy and can get you down, but you have to learn from each experience, dust yourself off, move forward, and know life goes on. It's up to us to make the most of it. And we are finished. Here is the end result. Overall, I think it turned out pretty cool. Definitely like the way the frame turned out. It was a nice, easy way to make a custom frame. Now, you could easily go buy these and you could get cheap versions of these for sure, but it may not be exactly what you want. So building your own out of foam kind of makes sense. You could go crazy with it and do all kinds of carvings and engravings on it, but I tried to keep mine relatively simple for sake of time. What I really liked was adding all of your quotes on there. It was really fun and kind of therapeutic to listen to what other people's aspects of life are and just kind of enjoy the collaboration. I mean, you didn't even really realize what you were collaborating to, but this is it. So maybe you will try and make one of these yourselves and impress your friends with your ability to take a meme, make it into something artwork related that can then be put on a wall. I don't know. Maybe you'll get some, and inevitably they're gonna ask you, how'd you make that? And give them one of these. Tell them, much props. I guess it's time to go hang this on a wall somewhere. Unless you want to buy it. It'll probably be on Etsy in a little bit. Peace out. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube and want to see more builds like this one, please consider joining these awesome people listed here with me over on my Patreon to build a bigger, better, more creative community together.